I think AI will deliver tailored solutions based on individual needs and behaviors, which will dramatically improve their engagement and hopefully even the outcomes that they have from interacting with this technology.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Tech Tea Podcast. I am Heather McLean, and I have a special guest with me today. It's actually our first guest on the show, and I'm super excited about having him here. Nick is one of my oldest friends. We've been working together for many, many years, and I'm just really excited that he's here. So welcome, Nick. Let's see. Nick is a Senior Director of Software Engineering at Worldwide Technology. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Nick?
Well, thank you for having me, Heather. I'm very excited to be here. Like you said, I serve as a Senior Director of Software Engineering at Worldwide Technology. My journey in tech spans over 2 decades now. Can you believe that? More
Wow.
than 20 years, during which I have led diverse teams across multiple industries, working on large scale projects. Most of the time, our solutions are fairly innovative. We have, worked on small customer projects, large customer project, and everything else in between. My background is deeply rooted in software engineering, but over the years, as I have evolved, I've expanded my focus to leadership, mentoring, and helping organizations just kind of navigate emerging technologies that are relevant to them. Outside of the technical realm, I'm a dad. I have 3 little children. I'm married to my lovely wife. And because of them, I am driven to influence a positive change both in the workplace, but also in the broader tech community.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it's great. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
And I share your love for emerging technology. That's really something we've been trying to focus on with McLean Forrester. So
Oh, I
uh,
know.
I'd love to hear more about what kind of technology you're working with right now.
Okay, so this keeps changing I guess in my Eras tour of technology. At the moment, I'm focusing on driving different initiatives around software engineering and AI, artificial intelligence driven solutions, particularly in the realm of generative AI, just like everybody else is, I think, nowadays.
Yep.
We're exploring how these tools can enhance developer productivity, kind of streamline project execution, and solve what I would consider fairly complex business problems for our customers. Of course, we can't forget to mention cloud native architectures, microservices. All of those are things that play a big role in the work that we do. And of course, I'm also deeply invested in understanding the ethical implications of AI, as should everyone else be that is in this domain, and ensuring that we implement it as responsible as possible.
Yeah, I love
I can
that.
speak a lot more about this if you want.
Well, I would love to hear maybe a little bit more about whatever one of those most intrigues you at this moment
Hmm.
in time.
I have two. Can I
Okay.
give you two?
Yeah.
Okay. The first one is computer vision, where computer vision is a major area where um, you know people leverage artificial intelligence to enhance image and video and do analysis with it for applications like retail, healthcare, security, and on and on. It's kind of everywhere where there is a camera, basically. Now, we are particularly focused on developing what I would consider real time image recognition systems
Mm.
that can help automate processes from, let's say, quality control in manufacturing, in diagnosis, in healthcare, pharma industry,
Wow.
everywhere. So that's one.
That's really
The
interesting.
second one, if I had to choose a second one, would be, believe it or not, BioNemo.
What is it?
BioNemo just kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Is a cutting edge AI framework built by the company NVIDIA. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure everyone else
Hmm.
has heard of NVIDIA by now. And it enables scientists and engineers to apply large scale language models to protein and molecular data. And it helps them accelerate drug discovery, improve the predictive modeling in the domain, and offer personalized healthcare solutions. This kind of AI has the potential to just dramatically speed up the identification of new therapeutics
Hmm.
and even enhance our understanding of complex biological systems. I think it's very fascinating.
I'm actually really fascinated with that too, and I kind of predict that in the next 10 years, maybe a little longer, but I think we're going to be able to treat or prevent many diseases and things that we can't cure right now, but we're going to come up with the medicines. We're going to figure it out because we can generate so many more possibilities to try out and to simulate. I'm excited about it. Biology is an area of interest for me. It's what my bachelor's degree is in, and I love keeping up with some of these medical advancements. That is a really interesting space. What was the name of the technologies
It's
again?
called Bio Nemo.
Bio Nemo.
It's part of
Okay,
the Nemo
that's
framework. Yeah,
that's
it's
cool.
man. I hope we get to experience it in our lifetimes and get to see some of the benefits it will bring.
I think we will. Like, I think we're going to see some serious impact in our lifetimes, and then just
Yeah,
think how that's going to impact our kids'
yeah,
lifetimes.
exactly,
They're just going to be hopefully so much more healthy and less disease and less afflictions than everyone before them. I sure hope so.
exactly.
Cool. Well, so you're a senior leader in a software engineering organization. I would love to hear a little bit more about your challenges that you're seeing in the industry right now.
Oh boy, yeah. I mean, you probably know them all, right? There's several, to be honest. One major one is, if I had to pick one right away, would be talent acquisition and
Mm,
retention, especially in areas like AI, machine learning, and your typical advanced cloud technologies.
right.
Right, the demand is just so high for like the real top tier talent is just so high. The competition is just crazy out there, and it's a constant challenge to not only find them but also to attract them, and once they're here, to retain them with the right blend of technical expertise, creative problem solving skills, keeping them engaged and interested. It's not trivial.
Hmm. I mean, have you seen any relief in the area since a lot of these big tech companies are doing layoffs? Has that helped at all?
Marginally, maybe. The competition is still out there. They're not asleep, right? And of course, the industry is benefiting. What do we say? One company's loss is another company's gain.
Right, right.
And you see this left and right, and some of them move so fast. By the time you realize someone is available, they're already gone,
Oh,
right?
that is a huge challenge. I mean, that was a challenge when we worked together, and I
It,
think we started to see the beginning of this. Well, what we lived through was like this um, employees were having a lot of advantages, right? And they could have the pick of the litter for which companies they wanted to
exactly.
go for. So it sounds like that's
It
still the
still is.
case, even though we're hearing a lot about job shortages. I think for the areas you're looking in, these specific
Hmm.
expert areas, it sounds like that's still the case.
Yeah. Another one, so aside of finding the right talent to work on all those cutting edge solutions, is dealing with legacy systems. As much as we like dealing with new technologies and all the new
Hmm.
shiny things out there, um, a lot of our customers and a lot of the industry is still relying on legacy systems, and integrating those legacy systems with more emerging technologies like AI or
Hmm.
microservices into their environments that were not built, to support this kind of change. It's really hard finding ways to make the transition seamless and integrate those modern solutions without disrupting their current operations.
Yeah, this is a space. This is a space we're trying to play in right now. We've discovered some really neat um, tools that are new to the industry that really will help make some of those legacy modernizations easier. And then even some AI code assist tools I think, will come into play as you look at modernizing
Hmm.
old legacy applications. I
Absolutely.
think you've done some research in some of these AI code assist tools, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, we have on and off. My goodness, so it's been almost 2 years now where we first kind of started looking into them, a little shy in the beginning, and then a lot more aggressively as we gained a little more confidence. Yeah, we've been exploring actively AI coding assistance as part of our effort to modernize and streamline our software development processes. Now, as everyone knows, these tools are powered by large language models, and they have been very useful, as it turns out, in reducing repetitive tasks.
Hmm.
The thing that engineers would do over and over and over, that can be done very fast now, at almost a click of a button. I think it accelerates code generation, it enhances code quality, it allows for a second pair of eyes when you don't have another person sitting next to you,
Right.
maybe for whatever reason. I am a big fan. What do you think?
We are definitely interested in these, and I have an interest in just really experimenting a lot more with these here in the near future. I would love to hear from you, like which of these tools have you used, and what are your opinions on how well they perform?
Yeah, I have used personally. I have used two of them for the very little bit of coding that I'm probably not allowed to do, but I get to do every so often, quietly. Um, I have two favorites. One is GitHub's Copilot,
Hmm.
which I'm sure everyone has heard of by now, and another one that is maybe a little less known but offers niche advantages is Codium. The main difference between the two is that GitHub's Copilot runs on the cloud. It's I would consider fairly cost effective. It won't break the bank. It's not free, but I
It's not
also
that
believe it's
expensive. Yeah.
right. But it runs on the cloud, and it runs on the cloud on hosted infrastructure, and that can be a problem for at least some of the use cases we're seeing where we don't want to use a cloud hosted solution that may
Right.
potentially expose code that is, let's say, more sensitive in nature.
Right.
And this is where Codium comes in, that runs on our
Okay.
infrastructure, our machines, that is isolated from the rest of the public cloud. And I think they're both almost just as good as each other in
Hmm.
terms of the things that I mentioned.
Have you run any experiments with those to see can like how much faster does it can you build something or can you work
Yeah,
with
we
something?
have some metrics, although I'll admit they're fairly subjective. A lot has to do with who is using it, how experienced they are in the
Hmm.
programming language that they're using right now. Um, what is the setting? Is it a more complex system or is it a more simple, repetitive thing? So take this with a grain of salt. But we've seen, if I had to, and I don't have my notes in front of me, but I know it's at least uh, about a 20% increase in
Wow.
efficiency and speed when it comes to just refactoring code, making code a little more readable, a little
Yep.
more maintainable, maybe down the road, for the poor engineer that has to look at this a year or two or five from now. Um,
Even
Definite advantages there,
right. I mean, even 20%, that's amazing when you're
isn't it?
and that's think of the cost savings for customers. That's what excites
Right.
me is because it's expensive to maintain these legacy apps. And if I can save 20% on the cost of just the modernization piece, and then that actually in the long run probably reduces my sustainment costs too. So that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Now,
Um,
another one, if I
yeah.
may add one more, is, I mentioned engineers that may be a little more junior, either in the industry altogether, right? Maybe they just got out of college, out of school, or maybe they only have 1 or 2 years under their belt. Fine. I think it is a significant advantage when it comes to a more junior engineer gaining some confidence,
Mm,
seeing their code come to life, seeing that what they're working on actually works, and not shying away or not getting frustrated and giving up or being stuck at
Right.
the same thing for hours or days. Where in the past we would have to leverage maybe a more senior engineer to come and mentor and sit down.
Right.
I mean, we still need to do that, but maybe not as frequent anymore, right? Or
Right.
maybe instead of waiting 10 hours or a day or two for someone to be available to come help you, maybe you get the
Right.
initial help right away and it's just enough to get you forward. And
Right.
then when you finally have a more experienced person, then you can focus on complex architecture, the more problem solving, the things that you would
Hmm.
expect from a more senior person. And you can get that right away.
That's that's a really good point. When we started working together, pairing was a really big thing, and that was almost standard practice for us, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that these coding assistants are pretty much going to eliminate pairing going forward?
I so I am biased because pairing is near and dear to my heart. This is how I learned how to code. This is how I
Hmm.
became pretty good at what I did at the time that I was doing it. I don't think pairing is going to go away. I think the nature or the types of conversations a pair has will change. I think
Hmm.
it will go away if it hasn't already. It will go away from the tactical, hey, how do I do this? Or I was really good at C sharp, and this is how I would do it in C sharp. How do I do it in Python now? Like that conversation
Ah,
can be taken care of by a coding assistant. Instead, we'll see conversations from a pair talking about high level architecture, maybe
right.
talking about scalability, maybe talking about cybersecurity. How do we harden the system? How do we make it scale for 10,000 users,
Right.
right?
That seems like a lot more valuable conversation to have with that expensive resource, if you want to think about it that
Right.
way, right? Like if
I
you
mean,
have
it's
limited
true,
time of
right?
your senior developers, you want them having those conversations and not some of those lower level task conversations. Yeah,
I completely agree.
that's a cool way to look at it. Well, I've heard a lot of developers when we talk about these coding assistants, they're still afraid that they'll take away their jobs. What are you hearing in your space, and is this a real fear? What do you think about it?
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned that. I know this. So I know this was the reaction early on from quite a few people, and understandably so. It's new and it may be scary,
Hmm.
right? And of course, you can't help but think, well, what does this mean for my livelihood? Does this mean I need a new job? Right? I get it. I am encouraging my teams to embrace AI instead of just fear it. Right? I've been clear with
Right.
my people that AI is a tool to augment their capabilities,
Okay.
and by embracing these technologies, they can automate the mundane tasks, the things that they don't like doing anyway,
Right.
and focus more on interesting and on more high impact work, like we mentioned.
Right. That's great. I did have a developer recently who is working on an internal project for us, learning more about AI tools out there. And
Yeah.
he even said to me, I was not really into this AI thing from the beginning. Like I just have been a little scared about it. I don't
Yeah.
like that it might take our jobs. And then he said, but now that I'm into it, I can't believe I waited this long. He's like, it's so exciting and it's so helpful. And so he just completely, just by getting experience with it, just completely changed how he felt about it. So I thought that was very hopeful, actually.
Good. I'm very glad to hear that. When I bought my mom her first iPad 6, 7 years ago, she reacted in a very
Same
similar
thing.
way.
Yeah.
And now I don't think she can live without it.
That's great. I think it's great when our parents use technology because,
Yep.
and it's even humbling for me when my kids have to show me things on my phone because they seem to know it better than we do.
Right.
Um, I would love to hear your predictions for the future of AI technology. Like, what is the one thing or a couple things you think are going to happen or you're really excited about?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, by now, hopefully, it's clear that I'm excited about AI altogether,
For
right?
sure.
I don't think I can hide it, even if I tried. Predictions.
Hmm.
Okay, so hopefully nobody watches this 5, 10 years from now, so I don't have to go fact check. But if I had to make a couple of predictions, I would say this. First, I think we're going to see AI become far more integrated into our everyday, be it in the at work in business or be it at home. Right now, AI tools are great for specific tasks,
Hmm.
But I expect them that soon we will see them just be seamlessly integrated into end-to-end business workflows, handling anything from customer support to maybe even assisting in, like, significantly assisting in strategic decision making.
I'm excited
Another
about that.
prediction
Yeah.
I would say is that in the AI, what I would call AI personalization, as AI systems learn to process more and more data in
Hmm.
real time, and we see this lately with those RAG solutions, the retrieval
Yes.
augmented
Hmm.
generation, I think they will be able to offer highly, highly personalized user experiences at scale, whether in
Right.
healthcare, in education for our children or for ourselves, customer service. I think AI
Right.
will deliver tailored solutions based on individual needs and behaviors, which will dramatically improve their engagement and hopefully even the outcomes that they have from
Right.
interacting with technology.
I think you're spot on with that one, especially because we're already seeing it, right? We're already seeing this.
Yeah,
We're calling it a vertical AI, where like you have an AI that knows you or knows your company or knows your business or your customers extremely well, right?
yeah,
They know everything. Like we're actually building one internally to help us put some proposals together. So we've got to train it on everything McLean Forster, everything we've ever written, everything we do, who we are, how we write, right? So it's going to be our little Siri, and for lack of a better term, but
yeah.
hey, tell me about this, tell me about this, help me write a proposal in response to this. And so I'm super excited about that. And I'm ready for that future. I'm totally ready to have an AI assistant sitting right next to me,
I
virtually, and just be
know.
like, schedule me meetings these days,
Yep,
write me up, take these notes. I'm so ready for that because,
yep,
especially as a small business owner, we don't have a lot of people. I don't have an assistant right now. So I'll take
yeah.
a virtual assistant as soon as they're ready to go.
I totally agree.
I'm
Yeah,
on
think of
board.
how much work goes into creating a proposal for a customer and how
Right.
much of it is repetitive on the one
Right.
hand, but how important is to have the customized piece that is only relevant to these.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm super excited about our project to build that out. So that's so
Good
cool.
luck. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, we're learning as we go, and we're definitely talking to customers about these capabilities, and so it's just really exciting where this whole area is going. So
Yeah.
we're kind of wrapping up our little chat here, but I do have one sort of final question I'd love to ask you. It's a
Okay.
little bit of a get to know you question. I know I saved it for
Yeah.
the end. I'd love to hear just your brief overview of how did you become the leader you are today? Because
Yeah.
you are an amazing leader. I've loved working with you. I know your people love working with you, and so got any insights for us on how others can get there?
Okay. I don't know how much insight I have. I'll tell you my experience, and hopefully it resonates with somebody else, maybe. So, I started my career as a software engineer. This is what I've always wanted to do, and I was going to find a way to do it one way or another. And it started with, my professional career started with what I would consider a fairly good technical foundation in software engineering. And over time, I developed the skill of just problem solving, right? How do you navigate a complex
Right.
problem or a complex set of challenges and break it down in a way that you can gradually just address it? Now, over time, maybe a decade and a half, almost two, right? I shifted from, being an individual contributor to more of a team leader, more kind of lifting everyone else around me while I was still trying to do what I was
Right.
responsible for doing it. I, you know, Being in a part of a tech team is humbling on the one hand because you're constantly reminded that, yeah, you're really not as great as you think you are. Everyone else is also really good, right? It allowed me to focus on mentoring others and
Mm,
fostering collaboration and also accepting mentorship and coaching and
right.
feedback. um, I think this is what the building block for me to be ready to qualify, to even qualify to be considered a leader. So I guess if I had to summarize, it would be my leadership is rooted in teamwork, innovation,
Mm-hmm.
ethics, and a passion for helping others to grow.
I love that.
That's
That
it.
definitely sums up what I think about when I think about you. So
Good.
that's so cool. Well, wow. I can't believe it's been about 25 minutes already and we've just been talking. I could talk to you another hour for sure, but
I know, me too.
probably need to wrap it up for our viewers that they don't need to listen too long. But I want to say thank you so much for coming on our little show here. And it was a real pleasure to have you with us. And I hope we get to do it again.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks. That's it, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Tech Tea podcast with McLean Forster. Take care.
Bye.